right here, absolutely great right here. It's I'm not even a big wine drinker.
Yeah.
But this right here is not too sweet. It's not too bitter. Like it's just the perfect mix. So I really shout out to Nakia.
That's my big sister and whatnot. And like I said, I don't be biased. I don't care what y'all say. It's the best wine in the world. And not even just that, like that 14% hit you.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm slurring my words on stage. Coming to the stage, we got what's your name again?
The Wine and Dine South Euclid Wine Festival, guys. If you're in the city of Cleveland, please come out. MCing will be B Titty. Also, it will be music. It will be obviously wine, and it will also be great food right about the 4 Bistro and whatnot. So listen, August 31st, you guys make sure you're here. So, and also looking for vendors. If you want to be a vendor, please let us know or whatnot. You have until July 26th, so please let us know in the comments, okay? Two, one. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Full of Experience. We have episode 229. We have a great addition for you guys today. We have Mr. Jerome Cash, licensed professional therapist / counselor, also speaker, educator, and just so much more. And we're going to take the time to unpack his journey and learn a little bit more about him. So without further ado, Mr. Jerome Cash, how you doing, my friend?
Doing pretty good. It's a blessing to be here. And even before the recording, you know, it's been an amazing experience. We've been having a good time, and it's been a lot of laughter, which we need because laughter is healing. So it's been fun. It's been fun, and I hope they invite me back.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. And then we have Miss Brittany, we have Miss Marquita Eddie with us today, y'all. So you know we're in for a good one. So y'all already know I like to talk about the journey because this is to encapsulate your life and your journey overall. So I like to start from the very beginning, man. Cleveland born and raised?
Yes, Cleveland born and raised. But first of all, let me just say congratulations to you on the award, Entrepreneur of the Year.
I appreciate that.
And the team as well. So
Thank you to the team, man. Absolutely.
So
appreciate that, man.
Absolutely. So yes, Cleveland born and raised, Cleveland Heights to be exact.
Cleveland Heights.
Yes.
Tigers.
Absolutely. Yes, Tigers in the loop.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what's up. So let me ask you this. What sparked your interest in psychology or therapy per se? Like, was it always innate in you, or was it something that cultivated as you got older?
I feel like I just had this conversation with my mother, and my mother told me not to talk about her a lot because I'm always. I love my mom.
Come on, man! Shout out to the moms, man.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna keep it brief, mom. But you know, we had this conversation like last week. Since the age of 3, I've always been like curious and wondering what's going on in the world. You know, where do we go when we die? Things like that at 3. You know, so I've always been like curious of what's going on with people. Why do people act the way that they do? Yeah. You know, why do parents act the way they do? You know what I mean? Why are certain people being bullied or picked on at school? So just different things, always wondering. And I had the opportunity to, one of the first like camps and programs I remember was the East Cleveland Neighborhood Center. I don't know if y'all ever remember that.
Yeah, no, I do.
But like we used to do different programs just in the community. There used to be a building full of African American kids. You know, it was a gym in there. There were like educators in there. One of my aunts was an educator in there. So just being around people, being in the community, I feel like this was just something that was always, you know, instilled in me during my different developmental stages. It was always something different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, even looking at my resume, you know, every single thing that I've done, every position that I've been in is beneficial for where I'm at right now in life. So that's, you know, that's a blessing to even recognize that and look back at that.
So this is I feel like part of what we do at the Full Experience, we like to not humanize. Everybody knows the story, but not everyone see the glory, but they know the story or whatnot. So I want to talk about those missteps you might have taken along your journey or whatnot. The missteps, man.
I want to say my biggest one that I felt like I hit rock bottom was dealing with depression and alcoholism.
Wow.
So, man, that was a journey to go through. And again, it's like most of the time when we are dealing with depression, we don't really know that we're in it. You know what I mean? Until it's too late or something bad happens, or you keep making those mishaps. And you're like, no, something wrong. I got to change. And back then, that was about 2016, and I was a correctional officer for juvie, and I went into juvie, wanted to climb that ladder to be a mental health therapist in juvie, at Cuyahoga County. And how to get in there, you had to start from the bottom, and that was being the CO, And the jail was rough. I went in there thinking that I was going to be working with teens that are not severe, had less charges and just needed guidance. But as I like to observe and prepare before I go into something, I'm reading the charts and I'm seeing 6'5", 250 pounds, attempted murder, home invasion, 6'3", and I'm like, what did I sign up for?
Yeah.
But as a man, it's like that stigma of you can't quit. And that was my mentality, which is all wrong. Because if it's not meant for you, and if it's tearing you down mentally, you got to get out of there.
Time out, bro. Because that
today.
yeah, no, not even just that. I just feel like that's something that we don't hear too often about. We hear go until the very end versus knowing when to quit. And I think it's a principle not to even talk about, especially in nowadays and whatnot. Is go.
Yeah, and it's okay to stop. It's okay to take that break. Most of us need that break. So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's not what I saw growing up. I grew up with no father. I know you heard me talk about that a lot in ghetto therapy. So it's not what I saw. And I had positive role models in my life, but when it came to expressing the feelings and the pain, everything that they went through, I never saw that. I just saw them being strong. When something went bad, they were strong. And I saw arguing, you know what I mean? Saw things like that. And again, I saw a lot of positive things because that's what shaped me to be the person who I am today. But holding everything in, like we were talking about earlier, that suppression is real.
Yeah.
And that's what I went through. Not talking about it, not opening up, just go, and covering what's really going on, pushing it down. And again, like we talked about earlier, when you push it down and tell your mind that you're okay, you can keep going, but your body remembers. There's a great book out there called The Body Keeps the Score, and it talks about it talks about that. And as we know, stress kills. We always hear that, like, stress kills, anger kills, but we really don't think much about it. But that it really kills. And just think about it: the more that you're elevated and that heart rate is pumping, it's affecting another organ. And I was telling this story just like on Martin, the show Martin Lawrence. They had Mr. Angry Man on there. You don't want to be labeled as Mr. Angry Man, because when you keep doing those repeated behaviors, you're gonna become that part. So absolutely, that's when people wonder, like, why you always angry? Why you always on 100 all the time? That's just life catching up to you, and you're not healing. You're not doing nothing about it. So that depression, it was rough, and nothing changed for me. I couldn't do it on my own until I got help.
Yeah.
When you say help, what exactly did that look like for you?
So, being the person that I am and being a man, I said, okay, I'm going through depression, and I'm picking up this bottle to the point where I wasn't even eating. And and like I said, some mornings I would be, that's what my body just relied on. Yeah. Especially when you get to having withdrawals, it's like,
oh wow,
yeah, like I need this to survive, literally. And for me, getting help was having to hit rock bottom. Losing jobs, not being able to maintain jobs, and I'm like, something got to change. I remember breaking down and crying in 2017, like something got to change. Like I got to get help. So it's so hard to wanting to commit yourself to like an inpatient program or something like that because you feel like you're locking yourself up. And actually, like working in the jail, I used to do 16-hour shifts a week. So like that made me feel like I was already incarcerated. So I don't want to go to another place where I feel like I'm locked up. But again, that's what I thought. So I started with outpatient first. That did help, but the problem was me still being around the same people, places, and things. Ain't nothing gonna change when you're around the same crowd that you were partying with, you were drinking with all the time. And the thing with black men is that when we see each other struggling, we don't say, okay, we need to support bro. That's a fact. Because he drinking too much. He ain't taking care of his kids. Like whatever we gotta do, partying, we need to step back. I didn't receive that. You know what I mean? With the people that I had then. So I went through outpatient. That worked for a little bit. I want to say like I stayed sober about a year, and I was able to work on myself. I learned some things definitely, but I went back to that same crowd and the same friends and that same partying. And it don't matter how many times you go to the barbershop and say you ain't gonna get a haircut. Yep, it's gonna happen eventually. Wow. And that's basically what happened. So eventually when I relapsed again, I made a decision to do inpatient. So I did inpatient for 60 days. 60 days. Wow. And I learned a lot. But guess what? Once I got out of that 60 days, I went back to that environment. And the same thing happened. So then it was like, okay, I can't go back no more. So then what this helped with, like, man, for me, it's like, I got to get this together because I know who I was before this time. And this is not me right now. So I went to the sober house. I met a sponsor there who I went to school with. And both of us were using substances differently at that time. That last year at Cleveland State, and we didn't know, we didn't know anything about each other. So once we saw each other later on, it was like, we were able to share that experience, and he is still my sponsor till today. So it was a rodeo. Again, success is not that straight linear arrow. And it just you climb a little bit, and then it's like you got to take 10 steps back. And that's what happened. I lived in a sober house for like a year, got out, started kicking it again, relapsed, got kicked out of that sober house, went to another one, was there for a year, relapsed, and then I ended up moving away actually and getting out of the city. And when I got out the city, I got like a DUI and I had to go to like a center. So I'm working, I found a job, and I'm out the city, and I'm going to this program, and it's this black therapist named Frank. And I mean, man, he changed my life. Just to have somebody that had went through the same things you did. He had a liver transplant. Oh wow. From alcohol, and he had to stop. He had to stop drinking in order to get that transplant. So to just hear his story and where I could have been at, like I had cirrhosis of the liver. Wow. I had cirrhosis of the liver, and I stopped drinking. I changed my eating habits. Therapy helps remove that stuff that's clogged in your body that's causing physical health, problems. And I looked and researched different herbs, supplements, natural supplements. And one of my doctors from Cleveland Clinic was like, if I was religious, I would be saying hallelujah right now. Wow. This is a miracle. You don't really see people clearly reverse from cirrhosis. Yeah. And being the green, like I have no lesions, no scars, and I thank God for that. That's so amazing. Man, that ain't nothing but God, because He had more of a purpose for me. Come on now. I had a hip replacement about a year and a half ago. See, people never know what you really go through.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because how was that journey? And then
again,
dealing with the substance is like, I don't want to go back there. So how did you power through that process?
once I saw growth in myself, and I saw me starting to climb that ladder slowly, I was like, I didn't want to go back.
It's not going back. Yeah, I feel it.
And once I started being able to, basically I was homeless. I lost my apartment because I couldn't work, and I was ill, so I had to stay with an aunt. That was my first time. I had been on my own since I was like fresh out of high school and went to college. So, just climbing that ladder and being able to save and see who I was before it come back was like, okay, he's coming back slowly. But then you putting pressure on yourself, like, okay, I need you to come back all the way.
Yeah.
And advice for anybody that's struggling is to give yourself grace and time, because that's important. But I just start climbing that ladder, and I start going to AA meetings. I start putting myself in the community more. That therapy group that I was going to at the time, it was individual and it was group, and that changed my life being in the group setting. So just like having therapy, you know what I mean? It really is beneficial. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that because I just go there and I facilitate everything that I basically that I talk about when it comes to mental health. I went through a lot. I went through a lot. So it's me sharing my experiences. Keep climbing that ladder, applying for jobs. Addiction doesn't discriminate. Like all this stuff happened after I had my bachelor's. So it doesn't matter where you're at in life. Like mental health is real, and if you don't talk about it, like addiction don't care who you are and where you at in life. It's so many people that are billionaires and millionaires that do coke every day.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you at in life. If you're not noticing it, it will take over. So for me, just recognizing, again, being mindful of who I am and who I was, applying for jobs. I found a good job back in the city, so I moved back. And since then, it's just been continuing to climb that ladder and finish my purpose. Putting myself back in church was probably one of the top helpful things. It was. My cousin is a preacher at East Mount Zion Baptist, Dr. Brian A. Cash, and he is just 33 years old, and what I like about him is he's really doing it for the right purposes and for the people, and uniting the people together. And it's just been amazing to be a part of that organization. And I'm actually in the process of being a deacon in training. So
come on.
So like, who would have ever known? And that was something that I didn't sign up for. That was, you know what I mean? When we think of deacons, I think of like, 60s, 70s.
Right. I remember. All that stuff. When you said that, my mind went right there.
Absolutely. And I always make this joke, Brother Johnson falling asleep
right
in the back of the church. You know what I mean? That's what I envision as deacons. So, but to just be given that title and being in that training right now, it's just like, wow. Everything that I went through is for a reason. And
come on now.
Look where I'm at right now. I'm building the kingdom of God where it all matters.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The more that God blesses me and gives me different opportunities, I just start to see that light, and I continue to reach for that light.
So I love it. One main thing I really love is that you were able to understand some of the nouns around you. Like you had to start putting no on the nouns or whatever, right? And you understood that sometimes you have to remove yourself from the environment to thrive. A palm tree not going to always grow in Alaska. It's just not going to happen because it's just not the right environment. Not that it's not for somebody else, it just wasn't for where you were in your lifetime. But I love how you are understanding that every tribulation led to your testimony that we're actually receiving today, right? And you are mastering your ministry through sharing that. Because so many people will go through it if they are strong enough, not strong, if they are resilient and persistent enough to go with it. Because I think we put strength on Black men so much that all we do is test the strength. We just keep adding weight, adding weight, adding weight until it breaks, until you guys break. So I don't like to say strong. We'll say, you have the resilience to actually see the process through and continue to see it through. But it didn't stop with you. And I like that you are now ministering. Churches, you got to go to the people. You got to go where they are. And one of the main things that I knew about you when I first started researching you was ghetto therapy. So can we transition to that and explain to the people what ghetto therapy is and some amazing things you all do?
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to my brother.
Another
Walt.
winner. Yes.
Yeah. So ghetto therapy is created by Walt, who is from the inner city, the projects, the central area. And what's crazy is, and again, sorry, Mom. Mom was watching the news, and of course, always looking out for me. And it was like this was probably, honestly, this has been like about 2 years ago, really 2.5 years ago. And she was like, "Have you heard of ghetto therapy?" And I'm like, no. And then went on about what was going on, but then like later on down the line, she asked me again, and I finally listened.
like all of us.
Right. It took a couple of times.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, let me
that
go
hit
see.
is hard.
Let me go see, because she's most of the time right. So I go check the website out, and then I go to an actual session just to see. Actually, I think I started following Walt, and he reached out to me like, "Hey, bro, I'm inviting you to a session and stuff like that."
That's how I get you.
Yeah. So I popped up, and it was amazing. I always say, like, when I see a crowd of Black people or just people in general, like, coming together and just grounded and united, I'm like, this is what heaven feels like. And just to see us, like see us in the room, like talking about mental health and our sadness and our issues and our trauma, openly. And like, this is a free service. Like, people actually volunteer. Like, okay, I'm gonna come here and check this out and heal openly. I'm just like, wow. Like, I was really touched. And it is cancer season, and I'm a crybaby, so I'm sensitive. And I really felt that, and just continuing to go back. And for me, like, my ADHD is a strength. I've said this before, because I'm able to categorize different things and even put myself in the room, not being a therapist, but heal as a group.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a chameleon, just adapt and just sit there and get what I need. And to be able to do that too for myself is important, and for all therapists. So just continuing to show up. Continuing to be open and transparent and be there whenever Walt needed something, to the point where we start doing contract work. And that was a blessing in itself. And my first session, facilitating, it was like, this is new. I would have never known that I would have been like a public speaker. I remember in college just like hot, and I was like the fat chubby kid that was like sweating. That was like sweating on the podium. You know what I mean? And like nervous and stuttering. So it definitely wasn't my thing. I mean, I love being in the spotlight, but not talking. Not talking. I just want to stand there. So that opportunity that he gave me to speak to the community and the people that come there to heal was just amazing. And I never knew what the crowd and the community, how they would receive me and what I had to give, and the love that I got back. I was in awe. I was amazed. So it's been nothing but absolutely great. And Walt is continuing to shine, and just got the award. And I'm continuing to show up for him and build that relationship with him in the community. And it feels comfortable. I got my first award like outside of grad school from Ghetto Therapy not too long ago, and that was just like wow. Like, I couldn't believe that. So for him to even recognize me in that way, just felt good. That just felt good because I'm not used to that from brothers.
Yeah. And I want to talk about that because and shout out to Walt, man. Because if there's a plug in the city, it's Mr. Walt Patton. Because I will say, because that's where I met you at.
Right.
And
absolutely.
and I love how the humility on you is very strong. But I remember your session specifically because I'm sitting there, and one thing I love about ghetto therapy is no matter, because you had a gentleman who was, you could tell he had been through some things and whatnot. He was very boisterous about those things and whatnot. You had a brother, you had different people who were going through different things in their lives, but they were very open about it all.
Absolutely.
And I love what you were talking about that night. I want to get a little bit more further into it because the interesting thing about the sessions you were talking about was something that we aren't as exposed to as a people or whatnot. And I love the fact you bring it to our attention because you don't know until you know, until someone brings it to your attention. But the session you were talking about doing was literally bringing the trauma to the forefront because we repressed those things. I wanted you to get a chance to talk about that because I feel like most of us, especially I don't say millennials, but I know my father don't talk about his emotions. Emotions, what the hell are those? Or whatnot. And I know that we as millennials, my kids, they always talk about emotions and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But I said that to say is that what you were talking about was I feel like revolutionary and whatnot. So I want to talk about a little bit.
So what I specialize is in EMDR, and that's eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. I always post about it. And what that does, what it is a bottom-up approach. So again, this deals with like addiction. This deals with trauma, childhood trauma, things like that, abuse. A lot of people go to therapy and they just get like a talk therapist or like a CBT, DBT therapist. And what that is doing is just covering the iceberg that's on the top. But it's not digging deep into everything that's going on. Absolutely. And that's with addiction. So actually, I posted this earlier. I'm a board member with a better way, and that is sobriety living, and they offer like sober housing and resources. So we're actually going to be working towards. We've been applying for grants to do EMDR for individuals with addiction. So, and that's something that hasn't been done.
Right. Come on now. Hit that a couple times.
So, that trauma, everything starts from the bottom up. And what people don't realize is when we suppress, the mind is connected all the way down to the colon. So everything gets stored in there, and then that's what starts, breaking down everything and then spreading to one part to the next part of our organs and body. So what EMDR is doing is it's so amazing. Science is so amazing, and it's crazy because I was never this fascinated with science until my adult life. And I'm like, I wish I would have paid attention more. But again, everything happens for a reason. I wasn't ready then, but I'm ready now, and what I received is amazing. It's a blessing. So we have like 3 brains. We have like the triune brain, and we have the reptilian brain, which is the earliest brain developed from the brain stem. And then you have that mammalian brain, which is developed like during your upbringing and adolescent years. And then of course, as we know, like your prefrontal cortex doesn't get fully developed until you're like 24.
I never knew
old enough to drink, really. You're not supposed to drink when you're 21.
But not for us, because we take forever to mature.
Oh, that makes sense. That's why you like that, Brandon?
You got it.
Look, we just want to let that inner child shine. Let that inner child shine. So, what EMDR is doing is it's like a time machine. It's able to go back and connect with that earliest part of your brain, which is, I believe, in the research that I've studied. Of course, you got different research, and I've read them both. But again, this is my perspective: is being developed while it's in the womb.
Wow.
So you think about that being developed while it's in the womb. I've heard stories where, and this was during my EMDR training, where people have done EMDR and they've seen where they were wrapped around the umbilical cord
Wow.
being conceived, and that's why they struggle with maybe not being touched or people being too close or feeling
Time
hostile.
out. Tell me, we're talking about before we even breathe a breath of air, trauma's already being formed.
Absolutely, because you think about it, our brains are being developed before we are conceived. So what's going on, what our parents are doing, and what's happening in the external world is affecting us. So when you hear we born into sin, like not only are we born into sin because of generational trauma, but it's things that's going on as we're being developed. Just as it is, when we're children. Children soak up things like a sponge. So absolutely, but EMDR is able to go back to all those three different brains and tap in.
Wow.
And tap in. And during my experience, during my training, I was able to get a taste of that home medicine before I went into the community and, did it as a modality. And so I had to come up with a theme of whatever it was that I felt like would be beneficial for me to heal in front of strangers, other therapists that I had just met that weekend, and then the people who were like running the course. But again, this is why we put in these positions to be vulnerable and to open up. And I've been sharing my story so much now that I'm comfortable, and I know that other people need to hear it. So I don't mind at all. It feels good. And again, even when we talk, it's helping release and get some of that stuff up. So I may not notice that when I'm facilitating and I'm talking about my life or my trauma that I'm healing, but I am. Especially when I'm in a room and I'm receiving love. Like therapy. That's important. And just really quick, back to that mammalian brain, you think about a herd or a pack of animals, that they're always together, even if they go individually and go hunt, go to work, whatever they have to do. They come back as a whole and unite. And that's why it's called the mammalian brain. Because we have that same part of the brain that animals have to survive. That's the fight, flight, and freeze.
Yeah. Wow. As a member, one thing that stuck out when you were telling that to us, Gale therapy, was the fact that not too many of us were in the room facilitating, but taking advantage of that therapy and whatnot.
Absolutely, and that's why it's important that I try to dish it out. And a lot of us feel like, okay, we may go to a therapist that is not of our race or our gender or our culture. But when it comes to EMDR, it don't matter what your therapist look like. This is science.
Right. This is you.
Yes, and your therapist don't even have to know you. Because what's happening is this is you versus you, and this is client driven, and therapist just leading. So with EMDR, the only thing I'm doing is saying, what did you notice? What are you getting? Go with that. Strengthen that. Notice that. On a scale of 1 to 7, is this true or is it not? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much distress do you have? And as they continue to reprocess this bilateral stimulation going back and forth, like, you see hypnosis, you see the pendulum going back and forth. That's all bilateral stimulation. When you think about an infant rocking in the crib, going back and forth, that's bilateral stimulation. And that's to desensitize that infant. So what's crazy is, and I don't have any children, but I don't share this with a lot of people because I've been waiting to use this on my future kids.
Then watch this back like that. You knew this was back then.
Right. So I saw this on TikTok though, and there was a lady and she had her child. I believe they were African American, and the child was upset, having a tantrum, just crying and screaming, and she started doing EMDR on his legs while he's on her lap. And he starts to calm down to the point where he can start to get his words together.
Wow.
To the point where he's desensitized and he stops crying. So, absolutely, yeah.
All right, I have a question. It's like this. So I'm glad we have you because I want to ask you this question. Is being that self-aware, isn't there drawbacks from that? just being just as a person, because I feel like me, if I knew all of me,
Mhm.
I'd probably freak out.
Mhm.
Is there, and I'm talking about for us as a people, when I think the reason why a lot of us don't want to go to therapy is
You
because
don't wanna
to be
feel.
exactly being
Mhm.
now aware of our trauma, our stuff we don't want to address,
Absolutely.
it will make us go, oh no, I don't want to do
That's majority of the world
Yeah.
that
Mm.
just hides and suppresses and sweeps things underneath the rug because
Mm.
they don't want to deal with it. I'm sure we all got people in our family like that. You know what I mean?
That's me.
So it's
For
not.
real.
It ain't
That's
healthy.
agree with me.
Mhm.
But okay, so in a state like that, because like you said, it is everybody, but it seems to be hyper focused within our city with the black men between the ages of like 25 and 45. They are going through whatever, and everybody's just trying to push through, keep trucking, or ignore it, and just hope that it'll just eventually
Yeah.
I'll forget about it. When it comes to stuff like that, how do you um, I don't want to say create a vulnerable space, but something because I'm losing words thinking about it. But how do you allow them to know that this is a safe space where you can you need to get it out first, but you can get it out? And then how can we help support them through the journey of seeing it through? Because even if I address it, I talk about it, fine. Now you heard what's bothering me. It's more than me just hearing you or listening to you. It got to be more like, okay, now we need to make a game plan. What we gonna do about it? What, like you said, how do you actually feel about that? Now I know what happened. Tell me what that does for you.
Mm.
I may ask you to repeat the second question, but
No.
I feel like showing up. Like we have to show up, and again, what we expect to do by changing somebody's lives or being in an environment is most of the time is not what's going to happen. So, for example, I did this program with Put 'em Layers Back, the co-pillar program, and shout out to Archie Green and Shelly Gates because they have been amazing and they're hard workers. But we actually we go into the schools and we talk about mental health through the hip hop lens, like creating music. So there was Campus International High School. There was a lot of students there just going through a lot, with life and a lot of distractions. And we only had one student that actually followed through with that program. And it was disappointing because, we're in a school full of young black men and nobody will come down because of the stigma of mental health. We did have so it was like three or four kids that would come down at a time, but some got expelled, some got put in jail. I was talking to one, he had gunshot wounds, he just got shot. So they're going through real life stuff, and it was hard for me to run that curriculum. So it's like the biggest thing is meeting them where they're at. Like we gotta meet them where they're at. We just can't go in there like listen, son, like you shouldn't be doing this. Listen, bro, you shouldn't be doing that. Like this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. One of the OGs from ghetto therapy was like, sometimes I just go and I may try to have a conversation with somebody one on one and give them some money or something like chill for the day. So we gotta we have to show up. And the biggest thing is going to these schools and going to the communities where they're at, coming together as a whole.
Yeah.
In order to spread that message. Like Walt. Walt has done several things in the community, where he's with black men like minded and putting on different events and hosting different things for the community. So we just have to show up and continue to come together versus have jealousy amongst each other, so we can work together because it's enough food on the plate for everybody.
It really is.
Yeah.
So that being said, and what y'all don't know, this is a secret intervention for Marquita. Y'all have witnessed this. I've been trying to get her diagnosed for the longest, but that's why we bring Jerome today. Let me stop playing.
He's the most traumatic experience I have. Y'all do know.
Well, I'm joking, but in all seriousness though, we have had other licensed professionals on the show, and I always like asking. When I ask this question, but doctors have doctors, coaches have coaches. is it necessarily not needed that therapists have therapists?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Just like you said, going down that line, that works the same way. We one of the probably the top people who need therapists with everything that we take on in our own lives. So, absolutely.
So let me ask you this, and it's another thing I always want to know. How do you? So I know hearing these things on a regular basis, you take it all in. How do you decompress from that, or how do you release from? Because you got your own stuff, but let alone hearing it from other people. Because I mean, I feel like as being a therapist, you gotta be empathetic to or the plight of someone else.
You have to.
But how do you decompress from it? I'm not. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I know little son, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah,
I do.
absolutely. I always feel like when I go to church, it's a reset for me.
That's good.
It's a reset for me, and it definitely helps me throughout the week. And I definitely try to remember to pray and remember, the sermon and what I got from that church service. Because even praying throughout the day helps me reset. I've been in so many situations with past jobs, or during sessions with clients, and I'm like, Jesus, like, take the wheel. But just even praying has been a coping skill. That's been the biggest one in church. We've done things. So during Lent and up until like Easter Sunday, we had these small groups at East Mount Zion, and so we got like different age categories and different meeting times. So I'm with a group of people that were like 18 and 35, different generations. But being in those small groups from church and being able, it was like small groups, like therapy sessions, incorporating, spirituality in the Bible.
No, I'm gonna leave my next question.
So that was what I really needed to be able to be there. And again, being a therapist, but allowing myself to be vulnerable and to be amongst everybody else.
Okay, I heard that one time because that's good right there.
Another thing is just talking about it. I know not to bottle things up. I can't bottle things up.
Can you say that again?
I know not to bottle things up. I can't bottle things up. So I remember, what happened when I did that. And it doesn't matter because there's big trauma, there's little trauma. But it doesn't matter because the more that drain just gets clogged.
Wow.
I love that analogy.
That's a great analogy.
I've been using that. I just used that, I feel like earlier on today with client or yesterday. And I use it in ghetto therapy because it's true. We think about that drain or that sink. And one hair, one follicle, one piece of lint is not going to, clog it.
Right.
Stuff it up. But it's the little stuff that continues to
accumulate.
Absolutely, time after time to the point where it overflows. And that's us. That's literally us. And when I vision the mind connected to the code, that's what's happening. It's the stuff that we bottle up. We just talked about this earlier. The stuff that's bottled up, it starts to come up. And it's overflowing where we don't know what that's going to affect us in our day-to-day lives, or to whom it's going to affect us to. So, I may be angry at my girlfriend. I'll be on edge for my mom or my coworker because of something that I suppressed, last week or a month ago. I always tell this story when it comes to ADHD. I was the only child growing up, so I didn't have a lot of people, around me in the household, and nobody like really on the block to, meet with daily. So I spent a lot of time like playing videos to myself. So when I went to school, I acted a fool. You know what I mean? I was quiet at home. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have nobody to talk to, especially my mom working 2 jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just me. I did go over to my family's house, but consistently, I spent a lot of time by myself. So when I went to school, I acted a fool, and my ADHD came out. So what I was suppressing at home and what I couldn't say at home, I went to school with it. And that's a prime example of that. that overflowing into other parts of your life.
Yeah.
Like that's real.
And the question I have for you is that in 2024 and beyond, do you feel like, I know people joke around with this, but I just want to get your opinion. Incorporating spirituality in therapy, you feel like it's essential, or you feel like you still separate the two and still get a meaningful result regardless?
That's funny that you say that because that's more of the path that I want to develop
Come on
for the community. So that's crazy.
now.
Absolutely. And there have been different organizations that bring that together.
Conflate the two.
Absolutely, absolutely. But again, if you're
Sign me
doing
up.
it individually, you're doing it consistently, it's definitely beneficial. So yeah, that's what I want to do, and I'm not gonna go into too much into.
You know, don't give them secret sauce, man. Don't give them secret sauce.
But I'm even thinking about going for my doctorate.
Come on now.
Come on, Dr.
Doctor?
Deacon.
Come on, Dr. Deacon.
That's a weird. So, God willing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna follow his direction and continue to pray and be mindful of the energy that I'm given.
Yeah.
I was watching a show and it reminded me that wherever the energy goes, that's where the energy flows.
Cool.
So,
How episode?
Absolutely. So yeah, that is something that I'm doing right now to prepare for my legacy and my future. Where I definitely want to leave things behind for my family and my children. That's the purpose in life. It's not to build things for me, but it's to build things for the community and my family. So
Put that on time for that.
yeah.
I'm about to say that kind of segue into what because we like because like I said, we talk about the past, talk about the present, we go to past the future, but you kind of alluded to that or whatnot. Is there anything else that you would like to embark on in your future endeavors?
Well, it's so much stuff that's coming up. With ghetto therapy again. To not even have this relationship with Walt over a year, like it'll be a year in August.
Oh wow.
And for us to have that brotherhood, like that mean a lot to both of us. We both benefit from that, and I'm just glad to be a part of his circle. And like you said, if Walt ain't the connection person, I don't know.
Man, I don't know, man. Listen,
because I done met some great people in ghetto therapy, and I'm even starting to branch off and do different things with them, like my brother Jerome.
Oh, shout out to Jerome. Come on now. Come on the podcast.
Jerome, you got to come through.
Come on, man.
So, that's just when we hug and we back each other up, we can feel that connection and that unity. And what he's doing is just amazing. So, like I said, it's never too late to build and put yourself in new positions and make new connections. Because I said this when I got my award. These are some of the best connections that I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
At 35. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for Walt to tell me he loves me and I feel it, and I tell him I love him too. You know what I mean? And when he need me or when he going through something, he can always hit me up and vice versa.
That's dope, bro.
To be open and vulnerable, like with somebody who I haven't just met. Like I feel closer with him than people that I met in that environment with people who I grew up with, and that's crazy.
No.
That's
Listen,
real. It is.
I must have got my own story because I know that firsthand. Because you, like you said earlier about how being in different environments. I have my own trial, and I remember praying to God, saying, "God, I love my family and friends, but I know being in that circle is not going to give me where I need to be. Put me in the room with people around those who can help me in this time of my life." And He did. Yeah. And like you said, it's funny because everyone says, "Well, I've been with you since day one." That's cool, but where I'm going, that's not gonna help me get where I need to go or whatnot. And that's okay. And I think that we as people need to understand that principle or whatnot. It's okay. It's not so you have to leave them there, but you can elevate to a point to where you have to be in different with people or whatnot. Absolutely. And that's all right.
Absolutely. And God had been trying to tell me that for the longest. Even back then when I was struggling with putting myself with people, places, and things that I shouldn't have been around.
No, and I understand. Shout out to New Circles.
Yes, absolutely.
Speaking of circles, Cleveland has this stigma of sometimes people will say like we're not a collaborative city. with that being said, what are some ways? First of all, do you agree with it? And second of all, whether you do or don't, what are some ways that we can reverse that stigma?
Absolutely.
I agree with it in general. I can't say that for myself because I have started to build connections and I see what these young black men in the community are doing, and they're very loving and open. And for us, my circle my new circle,
You getting game.
absolutely the game. There is no competition because so many people with their own purpose and their own paths. I mean, for me, when I see them, even my guy Trey,
Shout out to Trey,
yeah,
man.
yeah, like when I see them, I don't think they really know how excited I just be just to see them and be around, and they could be looking at me like, I'm doing good things, but I'm looking at them like, wow. So, and I just want to work with them, and I want to like, hey, if you need me, bro, like, hit me up. If you need some help, hit me up. I'll come do it voluntarily because when I'm around y'all, I feel this feel like family.
No, facts, bro.
But I totally agree that that stigma is true to an extent. We really don't know how many positive people and leaders that we have in the city. That's true. Because everybody is just like segregated and doing their own thing. I even went to that event on Juneteenth and walking with black men. There were so many black men there. And
that stuff that doesn't get highlighted though.
No, absolutely not. But to places like that, and you go there and you meet new connections and you get numbers. You see like-minded people, and you're like, well, what do you do? What you got going on? Oh wow, like let's start a group chat. Let's hang out. So, but we don't operate like that, So I feel like to get to that point, we just got to put our egos aside. And my brother Mashan Ali from Chicago, who does like the Trap House Chicago.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, that's up.
He even suggested like just inviting each other to different events. Like we got to start inviting each other to different things. We got to start reposting each other's materials and content on social media versus just not ourselves. So showing up. Again, I put so much emphasis on showing up just to events, award ceremonies, and making those connections. Again, Shelly Gates. So many people ask me a lot, and she's the executive director at Put 'em Layers Back. But Shelly Gates is a plug too. So like, if I need anything, I go to Shelly, and she always points me to different people, or she has it herself.
We Gates, that's how we do, man.
No, that's funny. I got it now. I get it. Got it. So
that's what.
Yes. So we just gotta support each other, and that starts with the leaders. You know what I mean? That starts with us showing up. That starts with us being vulnerable and making those connections, and just taking those risks. We don't do that. We don't take risks. And just that's how we change, though. That's how we change our brains, by doing new things, putting ourselves in new environments. So just giving people shout outs. You know what I mean? Word of mouth. Like when I see somebody that needs something in this area, or somebody that's struggling with this, I'm like, hey, do you know such and such? Or let me give you such and such number. And that's what I love too about people in the community. Just even people from Ohio needing jobs. I know some good brothers from there. And I work with clients who need jobs. So it's the leaders and the people who have the connections working with the other leaders and coming together and sharing content and just uniting. So yeah, you got to show each other love, and we got to start inviting each other out to different things.
The one thing Walt gonna do, he gonna invite you some stuff, man. I get DM from Walt not every once in a while, but like every time at midnight, you know what I'm saying? I gotta start making them more and whatnot. Cause that's how I met you, you know what I'm saying? So right. I gotta make sure I do that. And I feel like Walt's like Captain America in the end game when he like Avengers Assemble and whatnot. I feel like that's Walt, you know what I'm saying? In Cleveland, just like, all right, Black leaders assemble or whatnot, and everybody just pop out of nowhere or whatnot.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that that says a lot about who he is.
Absolutely,
and
man.
his character, and yeah, that's leadership for real. And what's crazy is I get in these moments where I have time just to sit back and reflect, and I've been thinking of like who my ancestors really are. You know, where do I really come from? Because I can feel it.
Wow.
And then when you get around people again who are like minded and have different goals and are driven, it's like I'm supposed to be where I'm supposed to
Find
be.
a tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's going back to that mammalian brain. I found my people.
Wow.
That's yeah. Yes. I found my people, and just that again, like, you know, I'm goofy, and I think I'm a man with my girl. You know, on my mom, that's the only two people that I do it with. But being humble is just being in these places and not being arrogant or not having the ego.
Yeah.
In order to receive the love and to feel heard.
That's dope. That's dope.
Okay, collaboration. Since we're on the subject, who would be your dream collaboration? Now, this would be all those nouns we were talking about, people, places, and things, because I know they watch. So
I know they watching. It's not. I'm not even questioning. No question no more.
So who would it be?
The first thing that comes to my mind and a dream organization to collab with would be like a Cleveland sports team.
Indians, Cavs, Browns. Stop playing. Guardians. My bad. Guardians. That's right. Correct me. What's the hockey team? I don't even know that hockey team. I'm sorry. The Monsters. Cleveland Monsters.
Yeah, the Monsters.
Yeah, the Monsters. Stop playing. Give my man a call.
Absolutely, because we all need healing. And we see so much that go on social media, especially with our athletes. And just like Pastor was saying, like, there is an attack on our black men. There is an attack on our black men, like, and that's nationally.
Yeah.
Like, we see so many athletes going through things. Yeah, singers going through things. Hollywood is just crazy. We're not gonna talk about Hollywood.
Yeah, we're about to. Yeah, we'll be here all night.
But there is an attack on our black men. We just lost 2 young black men around the same age in Cleveland Heights. One from suicide, and the other one had a seizure. So again, like, the attack doesn't discriminate, but we got to do something different in order to get different results, and that's coming together, and that's the only way we can change, because everybody got their own perspective, and that's what leads to that greed, power, that envy of other people, versus us starting to work together.
No, that's real. And if a team can have a chaplain, why can't they have a therapist on staff? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So no.
So yeah, that would be my yeah. I'm here.
Come on now.
Here. Yeah, that's the dream. So but actually, what I'm doing now and where I'm going now is the dream. And I would have never thought that I would be here with y'all. And again, like my cancer, it's cancer season. So the census, when you sent the invite a couple months ago, I'm like, I know the pull-up experience is gonna win the award, so I'm gonna make sure that I schedule the interview.
Shout out to Jerome, man.
Afterwards, and during cancer season, that's yeah.
Very methodical, you my friend.
so
he is like,
yeah.
It's already big. It's already big. I'm sorry, Lord.
That's funny. So yeah, it's been a blessing. Everything has been a blessing, and God continues to give me more than I can ever imagine.
That's dope.
Well, when it comes to you kind of already kind of talked about your legacy and what you would like for it, but I would say for those who are watching and are inspired and motivated by what they've heard today. If we were to take this and condense it down into 3 key components that someone would gather from tonight's episode, what would you like for that takeaway to be?
I would say, don't give up don't compare yourself to others because everybody has a purpose and everybody light shines at different points of their life.
I'm hard. I'm with you.
So that's one. Two is black men. Like, man, we got to show up. We got to show up for each other. We got to show up for our families. We got to show up for our kids. And again, everybody think that they right. Everybody think that they in control. And we got to push our egos to the side and we got to unite. Because uniting and coming together is healing. Literally.
Ooh, title episode.
Literally.
I'm sorry, we got 8 episode title and whatnot already, but that's a good one right there. Because that's so essential. I'm sorry, I keep. I'm taking it all in. My bad. Yeah, that's why I love the interviews. You know what I'm saying?
Good. I'm glad. The third thing I would say is don't let the past affect your future. We have a choice, and I know life is hard. Life is rough. We are always healing from something.
Yeah.
But if you really look in the mirror and you tell yourself that you are a survivor and you look at that past, that will help you continue to move forward. And something that we stopped using once we got to adult life is our imagination. You think about. I was hoping you brought the buzzer today, so I got it. Got it. So
wow.
You think about that, and not a lot of some children had rough childhoods where they had to be that parent and grow up in different circumstances. So they may have not been able to use that imagination and enjoy that childhood like they should have. But those who did, even us, I remember playing with Hot Wheels and the cars and wrestling, man. Like, I had my own wrestling matches and the whole arena and everything in there. So using that creative side, we stopped using that creative side and that imaginary side, which helps us get to that next level. So continue to dream, continue to chase those dreams and plan ahead for what you need versus being anxious and staying watchful and being stuck. So continue to imagine.
That's good.
Continue to dream and remember that what you manifest and what you say is going to come real.
That's so good.
That's so real too.
So part 2, we're gonna have Marquita do a session with the
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
With the tappers?
No, EMDR.
EMDR, yes.
Yeah,
we're
I'm going deep.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna. That's part 2.
I'm ready. I'll be ready.
And I feel like the most important question of the whole interview, bro. Where can people reach you? Where can they book you? Where can they get sessions with you? All that stuff. Man.
So, social media, Instagram, FAV as in Victor.
Come on, say it.
B as in black, L as in love, K as in kind, Fave BLK therapist.
Come on now.
So that is the Instagram, or you can type in my name, Jerome Cash, or you can go on the Pull Up Experience website. You can go on the page, and my name and information will be on there.
Yeah.
Also, Psychology Today. So even those who are looking for a therapist, Psychology Today is a platform where you can go in, you can filter what you want your therapist to look like and to be. So you can filter race, you can filter gender, you can filter modalities. So you can hit EMDR on there. If you type in Jerome Cash, you can find my bio and my information. The things that I specialize in. I am a trauma-informed therapist, so that covers the whole umbrella of a lot of mental health. So Psychology Today, you can type in my name, but you can also use that to find a therapist that fits you. LinkedIn, Jerome Cash, you can find me on there, and you can also find me at the private practice that I work at, which is Grow Well, Cleveland LLC. So Grow Well has over about 40 clinicians.
Wow.
It's a really big practice, and I really love it there. Pretty soon it'll be 2 years. So yeah, shout out to Grow Well. Shout out to the CEO Pete and my supervisor Jessica and everybody who continues to support me and where I get supervision from until I get that independent license. So that is what I have coming up. Personally, is that I'm working towards the extra C, so I can be independent and not have to have a supervisor over me. So yes, growwell.com is the website as well, and I have a bio on there. You can find me on Ghetto Therapy's website. My information is on there if you need to contact me. I don't believe I'm gonna put them layers back, but if you reach out to put them layers back, somebody will definitely connect you to me. So yeah, I'm in a couple of places, and yeah, I'm
A
available.
couple of great faces, and they will
Mhm.
all be in the show notes below, y'all. Because
Right.
I know if y'all like Brandon, y'all didn't take them notes. So don't
Exactly.
worry, I
What?
wrote it down for you. They will be in the show notes below.
Yes. Jerome, we can't thank you enough, man.
Yes,
Thanks so much
thank
for coming on.
you.
This was great.
And perfect time for Men's Mental Health Month or whatnot. You know what I'm
You see
saying?
how that works?
See, I like the way you think, brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes,
no,
sir.
I appreciate y'all. This has
Thank
been fun from start to finish. Literally,
We are professional.
Something wrong with
Yeah,
them.
y'all have me rolling, cracking up. I appreciate that because I'm serious. So no, I appreciate that.
Listen, bro. Now you're a part of the family now. Because now you're alumni. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's
Come on now. Yeah, I'm out.
love it. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you, bro. And we gotta pay some bills. Guys. First of all, I want to thank you for watching, but I also want to say, guys, we're the Fuller Spring. We're going to Atlanta.
Atlanta.
We will be down to Atlanta podcast on Mr. David Chance himself to learn more, to bring back more skills, to bring back more guests.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And just to expand the network as a whole. So y'all please pray for us. Have a safe travel down there. And when we get back, we're gonna come back bigger and better and just doper per usual. What else we got going on?
First of all, we sitting here with the Entrepreneur of the
Please.
Year,
Oh, my
Kicking
goodness.
Black Artists Circle.
Thank you.
2024. If we thank y'all for anything, we thank y'all for the votes,
Yes.
the views, the
No,
shares,
absolutely.
the reposts, the nominations,
Absolutely.
and the continued support and prayers
Yes.
for our good brother,
Yes.
Mr. Brandon Gates, Entrepreneur of the Year here in the city of Cleveland, Ohio, 2024.
Yes. Thank you, Nora Edwards, the team,
Yes.
Meech, just everyone who took the time out to make that possible for all the amazing entrepreneurs in the city, change makers, and it was an experience. It was a great experience. We had such a good time. This is beside the awards. And shout out to the kid because the kid went,
Yes.
it was a good night. It was a good night all the way around.
Emerging Leader Award winner. Philip is popping right now.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What Fat Joe you say? You know what I'm saying? Yesterday's price is today's price.
That's not what he said.
Whatever. That's what I'm saying.
It's not.
That's not what
today's price.
that's what she said. But I jokingly said that, but just know, guys, we can't do without you. So
Yes,
thank
y'all.
So we got anything else coming up?
We have
Oh,
on
yes.
August 31st.
Thank you, Bree.
August 31st. Now I know y'all see the bottle, so y'all know what time
Come on
it is.
now.
2U Wines, along with the 4 Bistro, is
Yes.
hosting the wine festival. It's called the Wine and Dine. It's going to be at the South Euclid Food Truck
Yes.
Park. If you're not familiar with where that's located, that is on Mayfield and Green Road at the corner behind the McDonald's. Make sure you guys come and pull up on us. That is going to be August 31st. More information will be coming about that, but you can always subscribe at 2U Wines. That's the number 2 YOU Wines.
Yes.
And make sure that you guys continue to support. With that said, we might as well get into the team. Now, the emerging leader, she's somewhere being amazing, but she is also our emerging leader, one of our emerging leaders from the Pick Black Honors 2024. Her name is Nakia Hudson, and she is the owner of 2U Wines. Her winery is Black-owned, woman-owned, and a wonderful, wonderful boutique. You know you made it to the right place when you see the steel blue walls. The address is 4425 Mayfield Road. Now, in addition to the assortment of wines that she has, she's just a vibe by herself, right? We got the wine slushies, the patios open. You got us always ready to pull up. And more importantly, you got something amazing to do when it comes to just something fun, safe, in the city, a place to get together and have a little ghetto therapy if you want. Over a little wine is charcuterie. She does private wine tasting. She will do a party if you would like for her to. But more importantly, she is going to pour into you. So if this is something that you were thinking about doing as far as starting your own wine line, you absolutely want to contact Nakia Hudson of 2U Wines. Again, pull up on us. 4425 Mayfield Road, South Euclid, Ohio, 44121. We will be there. And if nothing else, you definitely want to see us August 31st when we will be at the Wine Festival. From there, though, there's so many other people. Now, I know y'all see the cup in her beautiful face. We got her today, y'all. It is Brittany of Beauty Toe Podcast. Now, this amazing financial professional is going to get all up in your business with all of your besties, right? She is going to find the hottest people in the city, or not even going to. She does. She finds the hottest people in the city, and they sit down, sip a little tea, and spill it as well. And they get all in your business personally and professionally, talking about all of the wonderful ways that they have manifested all these great things, but also some of the ways that they had some not so great moments, and they navigate you through it so that you don't have to repeat those mistakes. The name of the podcast is at Beauty Toe, B-E-A-U, because it's a beautiful situation, _ T, because that's when we're going to be sipping and spelling. Sipping and spilling, that's TEAT _ told, because even though she's want to be showed, she's also want to be told, and she's going to make sure the story gets told the correct way. So if you would love to be on the podcast or even just catch up on some of those episodes, make sure that you guys head over to her channel. That is Beauty Told. You can follow her on Instagram, on Facebook, and all those great things. Obviously, YouTube. Make sure y'all go run them numbers up. We need them. Behind the camera, we have our amazing team. Now, I'm going to spill a bean. I'm going to let y'all hold on to it. Keep watching. I'll let y'all know what we got coming up. There's some amazing things they're working on. I'm so excited. First of all, shout out to Steven Jackson and Bria. They have been the eyes and the ears of the pull-up experience. They have captured all of our amazing moments and continue to support us. We had a wonderful event where we had the opportunity to support them. I know a lot of you all actually showed up to Launch Arts Media to make sure that you guys were in their presence as well. But it's not always about us, right? It's about you guys. And a wonderful thing about having an event or any type of momentous part of your life is being able to capture that and keep that memory. And sometimes where you're in it, you don't always get that memory of it, right? You can only see it from your vantage point. What's amazing is they're a wonderful dynamic duo, and they get all the different images. So you can see not only your perspective, but others' perspective, and get a full-fledged capture of your full entertainment and how that went. So if you want videography, photography, or anything else for yourself, for your business, or some great stuff that you have going on, and you just need a crew to make sure they come through and do what they do, you absolutely need to hit them up. Now, Steve is at Alienized Photos. Now, I know the books is books, so don't take it personal, because I've been trying to get on it myself. But what you can do is reach out early, get on often, and make sure that you continue to support them both. Now, Alien Eyes with a Z, because literally it's out of this world, and I don't know how he has these different views from all these different angles and all this. It's really out of this galaxy, but it's an amazing experience. Make sure that you continue to support those who continue to support us, because we're going to continue to support you. With that said, you can't do it all by yourself. And you shouldn't want to. Now, the best part about the pull-up is that we a team. And the best part about our team is that we keep it flowing. And the way we have that going, we got our own little Shelly Gates. Her name is Shell, and she is of MJM Virtual Services. Now, if you're looking for a virtual assistant for your business that help you keep everything on schedule, on track, literally put you and your people in their place,
Absolutely.
it's the one that you got to call. Please make sure that you follow her at MJM _ Virtual Services. She will be the one to get you all the way together. Flyers, business cards, scheduling, whatever it is that your business needs to be a business and not just a hobbyist, because y'all can do the fun stuff while she actually handling the business. Make sure y'all hit her up. Again, she ours. Can I please keep her a little bit? But for sure, invest in this service, because it's a one thing to be a hobbyist. It's a one thing to have transactions. It's a whole nother thing to have a business. And one of those best parts of your teammates are going to be your assistants. And having a virtual assistant is everything when you are getting started, or even if you're stagnant in your business, you just want to kind of clean up and kind of tidy up. Make sure you make the investment in yourself and your business to make it happen. Now, for some of my guests who are not here, my brothers and sisters, I'm going to start with my brother. Kwame of Love the Brother. Now, Juneteenth just passed and we all was drift out in our Love the Brother, Love the Sister tees. That's because we are certified and stamped when it comes to supporting Black men. Now, we talked about it on a mental level today, but on a very surface level, physical level, right where you can get started, you definitely, first of all, I want to see you in a t-shirt, a hoodie, or something. But more than what it is, it's less about the material and more about the message. So if you are a business, if you have an event, if you want somebody to come out and understand the power of the Black spending dollar, Kwame is the person that you actually need to get in touch with. He is a staple in the community, especially in Cleveland, and we understand that the Black dollar does not circulate as far as we want it to. We also understand the buying power that the Black dollar has, right? So we want you to be certified with the Love the Brother stamp. The best way you can do that is to reach out to him. Make sure that you let him know the pull-up experience sent you. And he is going to come out and actually experience you, seek your shopper style. Now, he might give you a heads up, he might not. So I always tell you guys, operate in excellence in whatever you do, because you never know when somebody who's made something can come through. But if he's going to come through, he's going to experience you, your staff, your customer service, your actual product, and then hopefully when he leaves, you'll get a Love the Brother or Love the Sister stamp. Again, it's a wonderful opportunity for your opening, for your extra exposure, for anything that you have going on, especially events. It's fun. He's a lovable person. He's actually part of the pull up. You definitely want to make sure you continue to support my girl Sam, because we outside this summer, y'all. This heat wave ain't nothing to play with, but we've been outside. So whether you are outside or inside this summer, y'all make sure y'all support Sam of Curvy Confident. Now, a party ain't a party until you got the right host or the right person to interview or whatever. It really ain't. We all know that. So if you want somebody to come through and look the part and actually make sure that conversations are being had, or as far as experiences, expectations, what they went through, how they're going to continue to support you, she's the one you definitely got to call. Again, the books is booked. Please do not ever take it personal when y'all reach out to somebody pull up experience and you got to wait a couple months. It's a pleasure. And it also stays to the fact that we certified, I guess. People just love us and we love the people. So we try our best to show up for everybody. Again, make sure that you get on the books early and often. She is going to take your event to the next level. So whether you are a 9-year-old having a birthday party or a 19-year-old having a party.
She does bar mitzvahs too.
She does, and it's going to be popping, breaking place and all. So definitely make sure you are there with her. Lastly, you got me, Marquita of Beneficial Bay, and when I am not ragging on Brandon, I actually do some work. We help people build their businesses and specifically grow targeted lists without doing ads, and helping us stay with our sales funnels and getting them all the way together. You can always reach me at Beneficial Bay. Call Brandon, he'll send a message, but definitely reach me at Beneficial Bay or go to beneficialbay.com. Put yourself on my calendar. Then you ain't got to worry about me going back and forth with you, because you can do what you need to do. Yes. Other than that, y'all, thank y'all. For real, the last part of the pull up is the most important, and that's you guys. All the views, likes, comments, shares, subscriptions. We would not be nothing without you guys. Thank you for always coming to our events. Thank you for always showing up to our podcast. Thank you for the love that you all continuously show for all of us, individually and collectively. Absolutely. We love and appreciate y'all, and we look forward to seeing y'all 229.
229.
We can't close it no better than that. Wait, actually, does anybody have anything to add?
I want to say we thank Jerome for coming on.
For sure.
And amazing people like himself who come on and share the stories. Because without y'all, we wouldn't be here. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. So,
all right, y'all. That's 229 in the bag. I'll see y'all at 2:30. Bye.
Peace. That was dope.